Hi, in this session I'm going to cover how to create animations in PowerPoint. Animations can be either sound or visual effects to help you increase some interest in your presentation or to focus on important parts or points in the presentation. You can apply animations to either text or an object being either an image or a graph or a chart. So here's an example of an animation. Now you see that we applied it to the text, we applied it to the object, which is an image, and we also, in addition to applying some movement, we also applied some sound animation. So let's go through and see how we can do this in PowerPoint. Here we have two areas in the slide where we can apply animation to. This is our text, and here we have our object, which is an image. So in the ribbon, go under the Animations tab. First we got to click the text that we want to animate, and in the animation we look at the gallery view. There's really 5 categories or 5 types of animations. You have none, which is default, and then you have entrance, which is how text or objects enter into the slide. Then you have this emphasis, which is the animation, whatever you choose, it's the animation that occurs within the text or object within the slide. Then you have exit, how you want the text or object to exit the slide, and then you have these motion paths, and it's very similar to the emphasis types where you have the object move along a predetermined path. And there's additional more effects here if you wanted to look through them here. PowerPoint provides these initial ones, and then if you want to explore and look at the other ones, you can take a look through here. And if you notice that it's color coded, it's green, and you can see the directions that kind of indicate something moving in, and this yellow part for emphasis, the red moving out, and this white star, I guess it's their way of saying more motion paths in PowerPoint. So let's go ahead and put it together for the text. And let's say that we want the text to fly in. We'll just choose that, and I'll click that, and you see that flies in from the bottom. But we don't like to have it fly in from the bottom. Maybe you want to have fly in from the left. So there is this effect options here, and we can have a range of selections to choose from. I'm going to have it come in from the left. And you notice once that's selected, once I put an animation there, it puts a number there. It indicates this is the first grouping of the animation. Now what I want to do is now add an animation to this image, and I want to add a couple animations to this image. You can add an initial animation, but maybe you want to have animations sit on top of each other, and this is what actually was done on the example where we had this goldfish really appear and then move from the left to right, and that's actually a range of animations, and then it also had the sound effect. So we have to think about how you want these to proceed in sequence. So what I want to do first is to have this fish appear, because that's basically what it did. It appeared out of nothing. So I'm going to choose that and have it appear. Oops. Okay, now that selected it. And in addition, I want to add an animation. I want to have it move. So I'm going to choose the motion paths and have it arc. And with that, I want to choose I want to edit that particular motion path. So I'm going to go to Edit Points, and I move this over here, down here, so the fish seems like it moves from left to right a little further. And these I can rearrange a little bit, have it kind of move more in a little wavy motion. And let's go ahead and preview this. You can either click the preview button here, or you can click the star. It will also play it. So I've added animations on top of that, and one way you can edit and review it is to go and click each one to go through and edit, or you can bring up the animation pane, and it's kind of like a short timeline of your animations. And within this pane you can also click. You have a preview here, you can click the start to play it. You also have a button here where you can play it, and the timeline kind of goes through and shows you what happens in sequence. Also in the animation pane, if you can see that if after you click in each animation, you'll see that there's a drop down and there are some other things you can do with your particular animation. I believe by default most of these animations will start on a mouse click. So if you have this in a slideshow view, each animation you would have to click the mouse to have it start. Let's say we don't want to do that. We want to have maybe the first one start with a mouse click, but then any previous ones just start in sequence. So what we can do here is, like on the first one, we can see it's already going to start with via a mouse click. That's selected. The second one, let's just say we want to have it start after the previous one. And also for the third one here, we want to have that start after the previous one. And we play that, and well, it doesn't really show it too well here, but when we put it in slideshow mode, it will do that for us. In the animation pane, you can also reorder. So let's say we wanted the text box to show up last. We can make that last and just click that down button. Now we've moved it to last, but we don't want to do that. So I just wanted to show you the example there. I want to make this first, so let me move it back up here. There's other things that you can do to play with it. As I mentioned here, we had the option to select when the animation would start. You can also do that here in a way. Whoops, let me select on there. Is this trigger? So on a mouse click, or if you click here, it will let you select when it will start. And here it only has on the click of the mouse, on the mouse click. So there's a little bit more granularity here. You can also do it here to start it. This is basically the same as what you had selected down here. Now the duration here, the duration here is how long would you want the animation to run, and you have this delay here, which basically it's kind of delay before the animation starts. So you can play with these. These are also accessible via here in the timing. So we have our duration, and we also have our delay. Now since I'm in here, let me go ahead. You heard the sound effect earlier on, and that I added it through the effect option. I believe it was the effect options here. Yes. So we see we can add a sound here. So I already have a sound that's selected that sounds like bubbles. I can add it to here. And I click OK, and you can hear that. So if I put this in slideshow mode now, we can see that we have completed our animation. Let me go and do a mouse click on the. Let me go and mouse click it, and you see that the animation plays through. You probably want to see a portion of this because my screen capture only covers a part of it. Let me go ahead and escape out of that. And in our timing here, we also have our move up, move earlier, move later. It's basically the same as our reorders. We can have this one move down. As you can see, it moves it down, but I want to move it up. So there's different ways that you can change the features of your animation. Now if you wanted to remove your animation, all you need to do is just select your animation and click none, and it removes it. If you had a lot of animation here, you didn't want to remove it one by one, what you can do, let me just go ahead and undo that. Let's say if you had a group of animation here you didn't want to remove, you can just select on the areas where it had the markers or you select the area where it had the objects of where your animation is, and you can just click none. Or if you had a whole bunch of animation everywhere and you didn't, it was a little hard to select the objects itself. Let me go ahead and undo that. If you had what you can do is just do a Control A to select all. It selects all the objects and text in there, and just click none here, and it will remove all the animations. So I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.